All right. What's up, guys? James Miller here, coming at you with the Saving Seattle series. And the Seattle Mariners are trying to kill me at this point, because holy crap, that was a terrible end of our season. I'm absolutely in awe of how bad we've done. But we made it. We're here. Whatever. Let's just go ahead and get into it and see what we can do with this god awful team. And I say god awful lovingly because, I mean, we still had Julio, Cal, Joey, Brent, Jose, and Cole above 2 WAR. Chandler Simpson, Rich Hernandez, and Brennan Malone also contributing. Christian Walker in 41 games really was just a replacement player. Yeah, no, not a guy who we want to have around. But we have a bunch of bench pieces for us. We have 14 guys who can come off the bench for us. And why is it? Why do we have 14 guys who can come off the bench for us? Well, it's because we only have a 3-game series. This is what we're rolling with. So we have... Dude, he's going to be a starter next year. I don't care. Anyways, we have Paul Skeens, who's our number 1. We have Jesus Luzardo, who's our number 2. And we have Brian Wu, who's our number 3. Those are the only guys who are going to be pitching for us. And then Mason Miller's been relegated to a middle relief role. Man, I'm just not happy with where we ended up. Currently, though, let's look at the playoff picture right here. So playoffs is looking like this. We are going to be facing the Red Sox and then going and getting bounced by the Orioles. Chicago White Sox, Los Angeles Angels will play the Kansas City Royals. Over here, Cincinnati Reds, Milwaukee Brewers, Pittsburgh Pirates, and New York Mets are all going to be playing the Dodgers and the Cubs. But without further ado, let's look and see how we're going to match up against the Boston Red Sox, who were much better than us. No doubt about it. So pitching for them, Garrett Crochet absolutely killed it this year. Wow. George Kirby did good, and Logan Gilbert also did good. So those are 2 guys we wish we had right now. Garrett Crochet, Logan Gilbert, and George Kirby all did great. Luis Rodriguez, great in their bullpen. Andrew Walters, great in their bullpen. Cole Tolbert, great in their bullpen. Yeah, no, this is an actually stacked pitching staff. I'm not touching on everyone because, like Nick Pivetta, is that a starting pitcher? I don't know. Justin Steele was a starting pitcher for them, and he's in their bullpen. Andrew Walters wasn't. Luis Rodriguez looks like he was a starting pitcher potentially, but I mean, no, 29 saves. He was not a starting pitcher. Patrick Sandoval, maybe? I don't know. But we need to score on them, and we need to score early. Lineups-wise, let's look at their OPS+. Caden Kent has come up, and he's just hitting. That looks awesome. Happy to see Caden Kent, a 12th round pick, just absolutely killing it for them. Love to see that for him. Christian Campbell's doing good. Michael Arroyo, a guy that we traded over there as well. He did well, but really doesn't offer a lot of upside. Luke Raley, another guy who I think we traded over. Yeah. He's doing well with them this year. Limited stint. Tristan Cassis, Mikey Romero, Marcelo Meyer, Kyle Tucker. Yeah, kind of in the same boat as us, where they have a couple of guys who are doing decent, but not a lot of high-end talent. So, honestly, let's just go ahead. Let's jump into this first game. Patrick Forbes is able to come off the IL. He honestly might be a guy that we throw in our bullpen. Do we throw him in our bullpen over Christian Little? You know what? Yes, we are going to put Patrick Forbes in the bullpen. Let's look. Patrick Forbes. Place on playoff roster, because why not? And he's going to be a long reliever. And we are just going to go ahead and jump into this first game. Cool, we have people retiring. I don't really care. Okay, so how do we match up? So positionally, we absolutely kill Connor Wong. Christian Campbell versus Brent Rooker. I give it to Christian Campbell. Cole Young versus Mikey Romero. I give it to Mikey Romero because Cole Campbell hasn't been good this year. Jose Ramirez versus this guy. I give it to this guy. Welben Francisca. Marcelo Meyer versus Joey Ortiz. Give it to Marcelo Meyer. Caden Kent versus Chandler Simpson. Give it to Caden Kent. Miguel Blais versus Julio Rodriguez. Hey, there we go. Julio Rodriguez, absolutely great. Kyle Tucker versus Rich Hernandez. Honestly, might give it to Rich Hernandez. And then Brendan Malone versus Tristan Cassis. Yeah, it's man. We have Trey Morgan, Christian Walker, Nick Lofton, Lizardo Espinoza, Easton Carmichael, and Patrick Forbes can come off the bench and hit right now. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into this one. And hopefully we ride Paul Skeens to the promised land. So you know how we do it in these games. We just hit it with a little bit of risp. And a risp. And a risp. And a risp. All right. So Paul Skeens has worked into trouble here. Looks like he's walked 2 this inning. Just going to have to see if he can work through it. That is going to be a liner into right field. Rich Hernandez is there. Rich Hernandez catches the ball, and that is going to be an out. Rich Hernandez actually kind of goated in right field. Okay. That is going to be a grounder up. Cal Riley snaps it over to first base and gets the out. I was holding my breath. All right. Let's just risp. Hey, we got a hit. How about that? Looks like it was Rich Hernandez who got the hit. Let's risp. Caden Kent hit an RBI double. Man, 1-2 count, and that's a strikeout. We're going to have to do a lot more to ride this wave. George Kirby is absolutely pitching out of his mind. Let's go ahead and start taking some pitches, see if we can get them out. 1-1 count here to Julio Rodriguez. That is going to be a liner up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Hey, we have life in this inning, and it gets away from the center fielder. Oh, no. How many bases is Julio Rodriguez going to get from that Blais error? An extra base. We love it. All right, Brent Rooker up with ducks on the pond. 0-2 count. That is going to be quick work. Cal Riley up against former battery mate in George Kirby. That is going to be outside in the dirt for ball 1. That is going to be a check swing at the knees for a strike. And let's see, a 1-2 count. That is going to be another strikeout. Jose Ramirez is now up against George Kirby. That is going to be taken outside. Nope. 2-2 count to Jose Ramirez. That is going to be launched into center field. That is going to hang up for Blais. And that is going to be out number 3. Yikes. And after 3.5, 3.5, we're losing 1-0. And Kyle Tucker hits a home run. Kind of knew that was going to be coming. 1-0 count here. That is going to be a liner into right field. Nope. Towards Brent Rooker. He makes a catch. All right. Cole Young is up against George Kirby. Let's see if young Cole Young can get himself going, because I would really like to start seeing some offense from our team. 1-2 count here to George Kirby. That is going to be a grounder to the shortstop, Marcelo Meyer, onto first base for the first out of the inning. Brennan Malone is up. Debating on hitting Trey Morgan for him. Just because Trey Morgan was so magical last year. But we're going to save him. We're going to take one pitch here with Brendan Malone. Ball 1. Ball 2. All right. Let's start working this count, Brennan. That looks like it's going to be... Ooh! He's all around the plate. He's there. And that is a walk. We're going to take one pitch. Snap throw back, and he is safe. Let's do a little run and hit. That is going to be inside and somehow absolutely snap throw to second base. And we're going to risp. Paul Skeens. Give us one more inning, bud. Yes, awesome. Chandler Simpson is up to bat. Let's just see if we can get anything going. A sneaky little bunt for hit. That's going to be up the third baseline. And he is not going to be in time. That is going to be a... Woo, absolutely love it. We are going to take one pitch. Ball one. We'll just let him steal second if he wants to steal. That is going to be an easy stolen base. 0-2 count here. Or 2-0 count here to Julio Rodriguez. Looks like George Kirby wants nothing to do with Julio. Yeah, that is going to be ball 4. Brent Rooker up with a real chance to do some damage here. That is going to be in there for strike 1. 2-2 count. Brent Rooker hits it into right field. That is going to get down in front of Kyle Tucker. That is going to potentially score Chandler Simpson. And we have cut the lead in half, but Rodriguez slides in and he's out. Did not need that. 1-2 here now, but hey, we're right in this. 1-2 count to Cal Riley. That is going to be a liner into center. That is going to be caught by Blias, whatever his name is. Jose Ramirez is up. We're going to do a little bit of a run and hit. Oh, let's just do the at-bat. That's going to be a liner up the middle for Jose Ramirez. That's exactly what we need to see. Yeah, a huge hit. Cole Young up to bat, 0-2 count. He's probably going to go down on 3 pitches. And he looks like one of those T-ball trophies that you get. Paul Skeens got through that last inning on 6 pitches. So we're going to hit another little risp. I trust him. I trust Paul Skeens. That is going to be out number 2 here. And we're going to let him go. This is his last batter, no matter what. Last batter, no matter what. 2-1 count. That is going to be a pop-up on the infield. Joey Ortiz looks like he's there. That is going to be out number 3. And Paul Skeens gives us 2 earned runs through 6 innings. Come on, boys. Help your pitcher out. Malone is up to bat. He walked last time. We're going to just continue taking pitches here. 3-1 count here to Brendan Malone. That is going to be a liner into center field. Blias is there, and that is going to be out number 1. Joey Ortiz is up against Andrew Walters. Let's go ahead and just see what he can do. Looks like it's first pitch swinging here for Joey Ortiz. Rain delay. Okay. A 16-minute rain delay. Okay. Yeah, we're for sure done with Paul Skeens now. That is going to be a grounder through the first base side here for Joey Ortiz. That is going to be second batter up this inning. Rich Hernandez can sack bunt, but we're just going to take one pitch. We're going to take one pitch. And we're going to go after the second pitch. Rich Hernandez hits it to the shortstop, Marcelo Meyer, who does a Superman dive. I don't even know, man. That is going to be out number 3. Man, it's tough to be Mariners person. Oh, yeah, no. Let's see. We want to go to the bullpen right now. 7th inning, it's switch righty lefty. So let's let Griffin Jacks get this first bit. Griffin Jacks, Keegan Akin, Risp. Yeah. And let's just see how Chandler Simpson can do. 1-1 count here to Chandler. Let's just see if he can slap it somewhere, get on base. If he can get on base, that'd be huge for us. Diving play by the shortstop somehow is able to get the out at first base. But we're going to Risp. Griffin Jacks, yeah. Thank you, Griffin. You did exactly what you needed to do. Keegan Akin is going to come up in here, and we're going to Risp. Perfect. All right, top of the 9th. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. 3-2 count here to Jose Ramirez. That is going to be swung on, grounded on to second base for the error. safe at first base. Jose Ramirez sneaks in there. Young Cole Young is up to bat. He is ice cold. He can sack bunt, but they're kind of prepared for it. We are just going to go ahead and take one pitch here. 1-2 count to Cole Young. That is, God, he's been terrible. Brennan Malone, he's done for today. We're going to let Trey Morgan come in here and pinch hit for Brennan Malone. Let's just give him a bat. 2-2 count. That is going to be a strikeout. And Joey Ortiz, that's a balk. That's a balk. Okay, we have a runner in scoring position. Joey Ortiz, 3-2 count. That is going to be a ground up the middle. That is going to be a base hit. That might be enough to bring home Jose Ramirez. And that balk comes back to bite him. It is tied in the top of the ninth. Terrible discipline by your closer there. Wow, Luis Rodriguez really, really doing a terrible job. Wow. Wow. And Rich Hernandez is up to bat. 1-1 count here with Ducks still on the pond, but it's not going to be enough. That is going to be out number 3, but not before 9 hits finally scores the second run on an error. Keegan Akin is still in. We're not going to Keegan Akin. We are going to go to Devin Williams. We're not going to think twice about this. Actually, we are going to think twice about it. We're going to Jeremiah Estrada. We're going to RISP. 2-2 count here. That is going to be a strikeout. That was huge. Oh, my goodness. 1-0 count. That is going to be a grounder up the middle. That is going to get through. Unless if all of that just for OOTP to be OOTP, you know? Hey, we have to win the next game. That's it. Have to win it. We have a lefty on the bump. They have a righty on the bump. We are going to have Trey Morgan come in and hit for Brennan Leon. Joey Ortiz is slotting up to there. Cal Riley's been terrible. Man. We just don't. We're just... Everyone's cold. What do we do? Honestly, what do we do? Yeah, I mean, we just send it and hope that Jesus Luzardo, our best pitcher so far, can take us to the promised land. All right. 16 pitches through the first inning. You know what? We're going to start the taking a pitch very early. Jose Ramirez is up to bat. That is going to be a liner into left field. Does that have enough to get off the wall? Nope. Standing on the warning track, able to reel that in. And we're going to take the first pitch here. 3-2 count here. That is going to be ball 4. All right. Cal Riley on. Joey Ortiz. 0-1 count. Or, yeah. And that's through. That's through. All right. We got something cooking here in the top of the second inning. What do we got? Trey Morgan. 2-2 count. Are you going to be good or are you going to be bad? That is a liner into the gap. He only shows up for playoffs, baby. He only shows up for playoffs. Trey Morgan. I don't care if you sucked the entire year. If you're going to get homers and doubles and hits when it matters, let's do it. Oh my goodness. And Cole Young, have a terrible time. Rich Hernandez, grounder up to second base. That is going to be somehow a throw to third base that apparated to first base. But hey, OOTP is going to OOTP. That's just weird. RISP, okay. Kyle Tucker is up to bat with 2 on, no outs. That is going to be a grounder to Luzardo. On to second for 1. On to first for 2. That is a double play. So 2 outs here for Connor Wong. 0-2 count. And it gets away from one of the best defensive players in baseball. A wild pitch. And suspiciously, he's going to hit a pop-up in the right field. That is going to be out number 3. Shouldn't have scored one, but OOTP's got to make it interesting somehow. And a RISP. Who did it? Jose Ramirez saying, put me in the cleanup spot, coach. Hey, I'll listen to you anytime. Come on, Jesus. Shutdown inning. That's huge. All right, Risp. And Logan Gilbert's at 69 pitches. Risp. Jesus Luzardo is shoving right now. Brent Rooker, Risp. Jesus Luzardo at 60. Just go after Tristan Cassis. Grounder to the second baseman. That is going to be out number 3. All right. New pitcher in the top of the 7th. Joey Ortiz hits a homer. Joey Ortiz, have yourself a series, brother. Trey Morgan, have yourself a series, brother. We are going to bunt with Cole Young because you've been so terrible. 3-2 count. Grounder to the third baseman. That is going to be out at first base. All you had to do was pull the ball, brother. Rich Hernandez. 2-0 count. That is going to be a fly out to right field. Get back on second base. Thank you. Chandler Simpson. 3-1 count. Let's see if you can just get a base hit. I don't know where that is. Yeah. But not before Joey Ortiz says, hey, I'm going to get hot. It is 5-1. Jesus Luzardo. You're at 73 pitches. Yeah, you're just shoving. All right. Any substitutions I want to make? I don't think so. Actually, yes, we're going to do a Brent Walker for, or Christian Walker for Brent Rooker substitution, but not until what's-his-face actually hits. And then we are going to have an Easton Carmichael sub as well. We're just going to Risp, though. All right, so Seattle substitutions. We are going to have Christian Walker go to first base. Is it Nick Lofton? Jose Ramirez is a 55 third baseman. Nick Lofton is a 50. 60 catcher. Yeah, no. And there's really no one that we can throw out in the outfield either. Patrick Forbes you can kind of put in left field, but no, I'm not going to do it. All right, that's all the defensive replacements we are going to make. All right. Jesus Luzardo's at 76 pitches, or 86 pitches, and we're just going to Risp one more time. All right, 93 pitches. Christian Campbell's up to bat. We are going to go ahead and go to the bullpen. We're going to go to... We're going to go to Mason Miller, as much as I hate to do it. 1-0 count here. Ball's going to be put in play. That is going to be a pop-up into left. Chandler Simpson's going to be there. That is going to be an out. Absolutely love that. Looks like Mason Miller is injured. Shocker. Color me surprised. You know what? We're going to put in Keegan again. Oh my God, that just worked out perfectly. 2-2 count with 2 outs here to Tristan Cassis. Let's see what we can do. And that's going to be a liner deep into left field. That's going to be out. Oh, that looked like it was going to be off the green monster. Oh my gosh, that scared me so much. We're going to Risp. Joey Ortiz is just the greatest. Okay, Seattle substitution. We are going to switch to Brennan Malone here. Two count to Brennan Malone. Jose Hernandez is on to pitch. Brennan Malone hits a single over the third baseman's head. Atta baby. Hey, we got a DH platoon over here. And we are going to pinch hit for Cole Young. I think Lisandro Espinoza is going to come in defense. Let's look at the ratings. Yeah, we're going to have Nick Lofton come in and pinch hit for Cole Young. 3-2 count. And strikes out. Rich Hernandez, 2-2 count. That is going to be a strikeout. It's a half swing, but a whole strike is what that read. All right, Lisandro Espinoza is coming in here. Boom. He's going to play second base. All right. And Devin Williams is in to close out the game. And let's just hit it with a RISP. 0-2 count here. That is going to be a strikeout to Marcel Meyer. Kyle Tucker, 3-2 count. That is going to be a liner into center field. That is going to get down. Chandler Simpson is there to pick it up, and he's going to get it in quick. But it looks like Tucker is going to get into second base. That is going to be a 1-out score. All right. So I think Devin Williams gets to go through the end of the lineup. If it swaps to the top, we have to get someone else in. 1-1 count here. That is going to be a line drive up the middle. That is going to get just beyond the reach of our second baseman, Lisandro Espinoza. Caden Kent is on the bat. 1-1 count here to Caden Kent. That is going to be a liner into center field, but that is going to be caught by Julio Rodriguez. That is going to be out number 2. Need the out here. 1-2 count here to Mikey Romero. That is going to be a strikeout, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fenway. The Seattle Mariners take care of business on the road. Oh my goodness. We finished today, and we're going up against Garrett Crochet. Lots of people retiring for... Yikes, lots of people retiring. No one who I see that's really that important, but let's go ahead and jump into game number 3. Joey Ortiz kind of has to be up here, you know? Brennan Malone, yeah, he's going to be there. Cole Young's going to round out the back. We have Trey Morgan for off the bench. We have Christian Walker off the bench. Those are going to be my 2 big guys. And we have Brian Wu starting today. Let's hope Brian can get us 6 solid innings. That's all I care about. And we're going to start from the get-go. Look at this cinematic masterpiece. There's no rain in the forecast. Pitcher-friendly wind blowing in from right. Garrett Crochet gets the call tonight. He's 11-8 with a 2.79 ERA. Second in ERA, but the leadoff man, Chandler Simpson, is batting .262. Let's get this game underway. 0-1 count. That is going to be a grounder to the third baseman on to first base for the first out. Julio Rodriguez is going to step in and take the first pitch. And that is going to be strike number 1, which should not be a strike. That is a 0-2 count. Look at how egregious that first strike was. Brent Rooker, 3-2 count. Let's see if he can get on base. That is going to be a grounder to the third baseman on to first. That will retire the side. I don't know. It looked like it was a error for some reason. And we RISP. 1 hit. No damage. All right. And we're going to take a pitch with Jose Ramirez. Ball 1. Take another pitch with Jose Ramirez. That looks like it's going to be a strike. Yep. And 2-2 count here for Jose Ramirez. That is going to be a strikeout. Joey Ortiz is up to bat. We're just going to let Joey cook. Joey hits a line drive into left field, but Caden Kent is there. Cal Riley, you just get to cook as well. Big dumper, come on. That is going to be a liner down the right field line. That's going to be into Pesky's pole corner, whatever it's called. That is going to be extra bases there for dumper. Cal Riley hitting a 2-out double here. And just like that, Brennan Malone can do some damage. 3-1 count. Let's see. That is going to be a walk. Rich Hernandez is also up. Let's see if Rich Hernandez can do anything. That is going to be a grounder to Marcelo Meyer on to second base for the out. That is going to get the Seattle Mariners out of the inning. That is not good. And we risp. Brian Wu through 2. Cole Young, we're going to take a pitch. We're going to see if we can bump for a hit. Let's do something crazy. Nope. 1-2 count here to Cole Young. That is going to be a grounder to the second baseman. Slow dribbler on to first base for the out. That is going to be out number 1. Chandler Simpson up to bat now. Slaps it into left field. That just right at Caden Kent. That is going to be out number 2. Julio Rodriguez, 1-0 count here against Garrett Crochet. That is going to be a grounder up the middle to Marcelo Meyer. That is going to be on to first base for the third out. It looks like, man, defensive showcase at the moment. We risp. 2 strikes here to Christian Campbell. 1-2 count. That is going to be strike out number 3 for Brian Wu. And you know what? Let's get ourselves a little risp. Why not? And another risp. He's at 57 pitches. We're going to take a pitch from Brennan Malone. 2-2 count here to Brennan. That is going to be a liner into right field. Sinking, gonna be down. At a baby, Brennan. We are going to take one pitch with Rich. Garrett Crochet can hold really well. Connor Wong, we're going to run and hit. Brennan Malone is on second base at a baby. And we're going to take one pitch here with Rich Hernandez. We're going to take one more pitch here with Rich Hernandez. And we're going to swing away with Rich Hernandez. That is going to be a liner into right field. That is going to get down in front of Kyle Tucker and rounding third base. Hopefully is Malone. Is he in there? Oh, he does not go. Cole Young is up to bat. Oh, Cole Young is up to bat. Cole Young, 3-2 count here with no one out. That is going to be ball 4. Oh, I want to squeeze here so bad. This is not the guy we want up. I'm so debating on just putting Trey Morgan or Christian Walker in right now just to get this base hit. Oh, man, but Chandler Simpson just plays so good. I can't do it yet. 1-0 count. And that's going to get through the infield. That is going to be scoring at least 1, hopefully 2, please, just 1. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Julio Rodriguez up, bases loaded, no one out, 1-2 count. He is going to hit a pop-up into shallow left field. I don't think that's going to be deep enough to get Rich Hernandez home. It is not. Brent Rooker up, 2-2 count. That is going to be a grounder through the left side. That is going to be a base hit. That's going to score 1 for sure. Oh, man. Station to station. Jose Ramirez is up to bat. 1-1 count here. That is going to be a short grounder to Garrett Crochet. That is going to be thrown to the plate. Oh, Cole Young is out. Joey Ortiz is up to bat. 1-2 count. That is going to be a strikeout, but not before Seattle scores 2. Absolutely huge here. Mickey Romero is on second base, 1 out. Brian Wu is pitching, and that is going to be a grounder to Joey Ortiz on to first base for out number 2. Leblin Francisca is up to bat. 2-1 count. That is going to be a liner into left field, but apparently the on-deck circle looked more interesting than where the ball was going. That is going to be an RBI double, cutting the lead in half. Ooh, Brian Wu, I need you to get through it. I need you to get through it. Going after Christian Campbell here. 0-2 count. Strike him out. Love it. All right, and we're just going to risp. 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 Mikey Romero's on with 2 outs here for Miguel Blais. That is going to be a deep pop-up into center field. Julio Rodriguez is there. And Brian Wu gets us 1 run through 7th inning. Justin Steele is up. 2-2 count here to Jose Ramirez. That is going to be a liner into center field. Blias looks like, yeah, he's going to get there. Joey Ortiz is up 1-2 count. Come on, Joey. That is going to be a liner up the middle for a base hit. Needed to get some run scoring action this inning. Kyle Riley is up today. He is 1 for 3 today. So already doing better than most days of his playoffs, but it's going to be 1 for 4 with another strikeout. Brennan Malone here, 2-1 count. That is going to be another liner up the middle. Deja vu. I've seen it once. I've seen it twice. Hopefully I can see it one more time. That is going to be first and third here with 2 outs for Rich Hernandez. 1-0 count or 0-1 count. That is going to be a pop-up into left field. Caden Kent is going to be on, and that is going to score, and we have nothing else doing in the 8th inning. Brian Wu, you have done your job. You have been amazing. And now we turn it over to the bullpen. Jeremiah Estrada and Griffin Jacks take us to the promised land. Let's risp. 3-1 count here, Jeremiah Estrada. Bases loaded, no outs here, Jeremiah Estrada. 2-2 count. That is going to be a strikeout. Struck him out. Come on. 1-1 count. That is going to be a pop-up deep into center field. It will be enough to score the run, but not deep enough to let everyone else advance. It is a tied game here in the 8th, and Kyle Tucker is up to bat. 1-2 count here for Kyle Tucker. That is going to be a grounder to the first base, Brent Rooker, who takes it to the bag himself. Limits the damage, but we need to do more. Luis Rodriguez is in. Cole Young and Chandler Simpson are up. Come on, Cole. Come on, Cole. We need you here. Come on, Young. Jumped on the first pitch right at the third baseman. 3-1 count here from Chandler Simpson. That is going to be a liner into left field. That is going to be down for a base hit. That is going to be awesome. The foul pole is just beautiful this time of year. We are going to just steal second base, though. Chandler Simpson just does it automatically. Julio, we need you here. That is going to be a liner into center field. It is not going to be enough to... Oh, Chandler Simpson is going to tag up. Brent Rooker, what do you have for us? 1-2 count. Strikeout. All right. Griffin Jacks. Risp. And we're on to extras in the wild card series. Jose Ramirez, 1-2 count. Come on, Jose. This is for all the marbles. And he strikes out. Are we kidding? Do you see where this pitch is? That's in a different zip code, brother. Joey Ortiz, what do you got? 1-2 count to Joey. And a strikeout. Kyle Riley, big dumper. Come on. Need something. Strikes out the side. Griffin Jacks is at 19. I'm going to let him go for the first guy. That is going to be a pop-up. Out. Caden Kent is up. 0-2 count. Strike 3. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That one's on the black. That is a strike. And Tristan Cassis, 1-2 count. Griffin Jacks does it. 3 up, 3 down. All right. Trey Morgan, you are coming in to DH. 1-2 count. Come on, Trey. That is going to be a grounder to the second baseman. Gets through. Trey Morgan puts it through. Trey Morgan is on pace. Trey Morgan. I love it. Rich Hernandez is up. And we are going to let him cook. That is going to be a liner into left field. That is going to get down for a base hit. That splits the gap. Trey Morgan is on his way to third base. He is going to be stopped there, but not before a double. 2 on here for Cole Young. 3-2 count to Cole Young. That is going to be a grounder to the second baseman. Not going to be able to get it through. But you know what? We're fine. Chandler Simpson. Coming home with it. He's out. We're going to just steal second real quick. Steal second real quick. There's no way they're going to get him. Julio. The ball gets away. The ball gets away. The ball gets away. Let's go. This never happens for me. This never happens for me. 3-2 count. Julio hits it out. Hits it deep into center, but not deep enough. Not before. Oh, my God. Who do I bring in? Who do I bring in? Who do I bring in? I'm not bringing in Mason Miller. Not bringing in any of these guys. Keegan Akins are done. Did I bring in Nestor Cafe? I guess I'm gonna bring in Nestor. And we risp. 2-2 count. Strikeout. Okay. Got one. Mikey Romero. A squeeze? A squeeze? Ooh, what just happened? What just happened? What just happened? A squeeze to lose it? And then he hits a perfect RBI hit. Oh my gosh. If I'm a Boston fan, I am rioting unless if Miguel Blas comes in with the most clutch hit of all time right here. Fire Alex Cora. Oh my gosh. Seattle comes back after dropping the first game and wins all. What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? Oh my God. It doesn't even show. It doesn't even show. Nestor Cafe came in. Marcelo Meyer. Safe, okay. Strikes out swinging. Mikey Romero squeeze bunt is on. Marcelo Meyer is out. Single line drive. Kyle Tucker to second. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is insane. Thank you, AI, for doing AI things. Oh my goodness. And just like that, we're playing Baltimore. Cincinnati is going to play the Cubs. The Mets are going to play the Dodgers. And the White Sox are playing the Royals. That is the most insane series I have seen in a minute. Nolan Sparks, why'd you retire? No. Oh well. So this is what we're going to do for our playoff rosters. Real quick, we are going to remove what's his face off the roster. Dean Livingston is off the roster. Patrick Forbes remove, and we're going to put Connolly early onto the roster because we are going to need to have a 4-man rotation. And I'm just going to make sure that we are either good to go for that. Paul Skeens, when's the last time he pitched? Yeah, he's not going to be ready for that. And Connolly early is going to be our 4th starter, and he is who's going to take the ball tomorrow or today against Baltimore. But you guys will see that in tomorrow's episode. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and until then, I'll see you.